Sense of I am. Questioner. It is a matter of daily experience that on waking up, the world suddenly appears. Where does it come from? This is a beginner level questioner. He's not an expert in spirituality. He's asking a very simple question. This world was not there in my dream. This world was not there in my deep sleep. On waking up, suddenly this world appears. Where does it come from? Maharaj says, before anything can come into being, there must be somebody to whom it comes. All appearance and disappearance presupposes a change against some changeless background. So what is Maharaj saying? Before something appears, there has to be someone present there to know that this appeared. This is a trackpad. It suddenly appeared. You were there first. The trackpad appeared on the screen now. Now it disappeared. So, what did that appearance require? That somebody was present there before. And there must be somebody to whom it comes, means to whom the world appears. His answer is very clear. What is he trying to tell you? He's saying you are before the world appears. I am the same who was there in the dream. To me, the dream world appeared, and to me only, the dream world disappeared suddenly. And then to me only, waking world has appeared. The parent is there, the child is there, the spouse is there, the house, the car, everything has appeared. It appeared to me. So to whom has it appeared? Those who are a little ahead and not absolute beginners can realize that even the body appears on the bed. Do you realize that? How many of us realize that? Just a little while ago, when the dream state was going on, and some dream, maybe nightmare, maybe fantasy, whatever the dream content, when the dream was going on, this physical body was not there. How many of you realize the physical body also appears? How many of you have actually seen it, recognized it? Those who have not, this should be your first homework. Right in the beginning, there is a pointer which I have not seen. That means my awareness is not sharp yet. And what is the pointer? That this physical body is not there in the dream. And after that last dream, just before waking comes up, first the sensation of the body comes and then the world comes. Can I recognize this in my waking? No? Just before I move from dream to waking. So the first chapter itself takes us into Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. That's Sanskrit for wake, dream, sleep, exploration. Entire I am that is based on the same lines. All of it is based on the same lines. So the first homework for me is to recognize when the dream was going on, that time the physical body was not experienced. Suddenly the physical body appears on the bed. Maybe it's feeling cold. It pulls a blanket, or it's feeling hot and it throws the blanket. Or it's feeling neck is hurting because of sleeping on one side. It turns to the other side. Suddenly the body appeared. Just a moment ago, there was a dream and there was no physical body felt. Can I recognize this simple seeing? It's called a simple direct seeing. You cannot memorize it. You cannot ask somebody else what you saw and intellectualize it. You must see it. Clear? So his answer is clear. Before anything can come into being, there must be somebody to whom it comes. All appearance and disappearance presupposes a change against some changeless background. So that one was changeless. This will be homework number 2. Means what? Means that one was there in the dream and that same one was there in the waking. The first waking moment when the physical body was realized to be there on the bed. Now we are not talking about your morning waking where you wake up at 7, 8 o'clock. I'm talking even in the middle, sometimes at 3, 4, 5 o'clock. There is the end of a dream and suddenly there is the sensation of the waker's body in bed turning right, turning left. That also happens. Yes. Just recognizing that, oh, moment ago this waker was not there. And now moment later the waker is there. And the waker's world is there. Which means the bed. Whether it's hot or it's cold, whether the blanket is pulled on or the blanket has gone far away. Yeah, that is the world. Yeah, so it need not be at 7, 8 when you get out of bed. I'm talking even about when you get out of a dream and suddenly there is a sensation of waker's body in the bed. That's a good indication of this. So that which was there in the dream and that which has suddenly come to the waking, that is the changeless background. Yeah, so that is my homework number 2. Can I recognize the changeless background that Nisargadatta Maharaj is talking about? Okay. Can the host just right click on Sona and remove her? I don't think she's there. Camera is off.
Didi, she said her data is not strong enough because it's raining.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll move ahead now. You've got the 2 homeworks from the first question and answer. Now we'll move to the second question and answer. Questioner says, before waking up, I was unconscious. This is what you also believe. You're a beginner on this path. What do you think? I am this body. Yes, before waking up, this body, was unconscious. So you relate with his question. Yeah. Now let's see what Maharaj says. Maharaj says, in what sense? Means in what sense were you unconscious? Having forgotten or not having experienced? Don't you experience even when unconscious? I'll pause there. Very potent paragraph. Have you been to a dentist and the dentist gives you a little local anesthesia? Yes. And sometimes the anesthesia gets a little too much for you and you're gone. Did that happen ever? Yeah. Or have you got anesthesia anytime? Have you fainted anytime? Those who have fainted, those who've got anesthesia, would know that I have fainted right now. Do you realize that? You knew that you are unconscious. There is a knowing there that I am unconscious right now. Something is happening, but I am unconscious. That feeling is there. Something is happening, but I am not knowing it. I am not able to grasp it. And next time you go to the dentist, pay attention. So he's saying, don't you experience even when unconscious? Otherwise, who is saying that you are unconscious? That means you know what it means to be unconscious. Do you realize that? Yeah. Otherwise, you would have never been able to say, I was unconscious. If you don't know something, you don't know it. Do you realize it? Then you will not be able to give a word to it because you don't know it. You just don't know it. Yeah? If I say, I love to eat balushahi, and you'll be like, what? What is that? You don't know balushahi. You can't even wrap your brain around it. Is it sweet? Is it savory? What is she talking about? You have no idea what she's talking about, right? She could have very well made up a word. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you know I was unconscious, means I know what is the meaning of being unconscious. I know that I am not conscious. Yeah? Attempt to see what he's saying. Can you exist without knowing, he's saying? Next question in that same line. Can you exist without knowing? A lapse in memory, is it a proof of non-existence? If I cannot remember where have I put my keys, does that mean that the keys do not exist? No. It means what? Right now, that key, the location of the key is not at the conscious level. It is unconscious. It is at an unconscious level. Means I know it is at an unconscious level. I am just not able to retrieve it from that unconscious level. Yeah? So see these very beautiful statements. They take you deep into self-exploration. Each of them can be a separate journal point. You can dive deep into exploration just by each of these. Next sentence he says, and can you validly talk about your own non-existence as an actual experience? I did not exist there. Who knows you did not exist? That has to be there, no? Do you see what he's saying? So you cannot talk about your own existence, your own non-existence as an actual experience. Yeah? So wake up and see. He says you cannot even say that your mind did not exist there. Don't you have this feeling about deep sleep? My mind was not there. You can't even say that. Why? If I call you when you're fast asleep, don't you wake up? That means something is there. Yeah? That's the next line. Did you not wake up on being called? And on waking up, was it not the sense of I am that came first? Yeah? Sense of I am is just that feeling I exist. First the feeling comes, I exist. Then there's a realization of I am this body. And then there's the realization of somebody in the room called out my name. That's how you wake up. Yeah, so he says, and on waking up, was it not the sense of I am that came first? Some seed consciousness must be existing even during sleep or swoon. Otherwise, who heard the name? Who woke up? Yeah, so there is some seed consciousness that is existing continuously. Yeah, we are talking about the changeless background still. So this changeless background is the same that was there in deep sleep, that was there in the dream, knowing the nightmare or knowing the fantasy dream, and then it's the same changeless background that knows the waking. So he's talking about Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. This changeless background, which is the seed consciousness, it is there continuously between those three states: waking, dream, and deep sleep. Clear? I'll read ahead. On waking up, the experience runs. I am the body in the world. It may appear to arise in succession, but in fact it is all simultaneous, a single idea of having a body in a world. I'll pause there. Single idea means it is one single screen idea, like a movie has one full scene in it in which there's the hero, heroine and the world together. The hero, heroine cannot exist without the world cannot exist without that hero, heroine. It's one single screen, like that only. Recognize this body that you address as I. That cannot exist separate from the waking world. That is what he's saying. So this can be a very important journal point. Do I recognize that this waker's body cannot exist separately from the waking world? In other words, in short, the waker and the waking world are one single screen. They are not two. It's a single idea. So in one little chapter, he has put in so many powerful pointers. So this is also Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana pointer. Can I recognize that the waker is equal to the waking world? Means they are not two separate entities. They appear together, they disappear together. There is no proof whether one can exist apart from the other. Which takes us to a very important pointer, that your spouse, your parent, your friend, your house, your money, that does not exist separately from the waker. So in the dream and deep sleep, this waker is not there. Means that house, that $1 million, the car, the house, the friend, the spouse, none of it is there. You cannot prove that when the dream or deep sleep is there, that the waking world still continues to exist. That is an assumption. Clear? And reading ahead, same paragraph. Can there be the sense of I am without being somebody or other? The sense of I am itself is equal to the ego. The moment the sense of I am comes up, it grabs some identity. Spouse, parent, child, friend, professional, rich man, poor man, some or the other identity it grasps onto. So the moment the sense of I am is there, know that the ego has arisen. That is the last line of that paragraph. Can there be the sense of I am without being somebody or other? Clear? This paragraph is very clear. Very potent paragraph. Basically, what is he saying? That this assumption that you had, that I am unconscious, this is wrong. First of all, I am is just ego. You are not this ego. There is a changeless background which was present in deep sleep, dream, that also continues to the waking. That is what you truly are. And recognize that the moment this waking world has appeared, it has appeared to that changeless background. Just like the dream had appeared to that changeless background. And the deep sleep emptiness. It's actually a deep sleep blankness thought, which we'll do ahead. Maharaj explains it beautifully. For now, deep sleep darkness or blankness. that also appeared to that changeless background. So he's again taking you towards that changeless background. Can I recognize that I am that changeless background? Yeah. And the moment I am comes with the ego of being somebody in this world. Very clear? In other words, even this ego is an appearance. I can recognize the appearance. I can recognize the disappearance. Do you recognize it yet? This will be your next, third, fourth, I don't know, whatever number, homework. Can I recognize the appearance of the ego and the disappearance of the ego? What is the appearance? When there's that sense of I am somebody in the world. That is the moment the ego has already arisen. Yeah. And those who are seniors can recognize right when the sense of existing appears first. And then the dream is projected. There only the ego has come up and it has already assumed the dream identity. Those who are beginners, we will get to the senior level later. First, let's just focus on waking. Can I understand the waking and the transition from dream to waking? Yeah. Moving ahead. Questioner says, I am always somebody with its memories and habits. I know no other. I am. Maharaj is taking him to witnessing, or changeless background. So he's saying, I don't know any other I am. I just know this memories of mine, these habits of mine. This is what I consider to be myself. Maharaj says, maybe something prevents you from knowing. When you do not know something which others know, what do? Questioner says, I seek the source of that knowledge under their instruction. So Maharaj says, then is it not important to you to know whether you are a mere body or something else? Or maybe nothing at all? Don't you see that all your problems are your body's problems? Food, clothing, shelter, family, friends, name, fame, security, survival. All these lose their meaning the moment you realize that you may not be a mere body. I'll pause there. Where is Maharaj taking him? To recognize that you are beyond the body and all suffering belongs to the body. And what do you really want in life? Don't you want to get rid of suffering? Yeah. So Maharaj is taking him to that changeless background, beyond, showing him the way out of suffering. Yeah, so he's saying, when you don't know something, what do? You try to figure it out, learn it from somebody under their instruction. So be interested in seeing, do I know that I am not merely this body? Do I know that I am something beyond? And if I don't know, then I must find out. Here, blindly believing Nisarga Datta Maharaj will work? Do you think? Okay, Maharaj says I'm not the body, I will believe. Does it work? Does suffering go away? No. So become very clear, blind belief will not work. Not blindly believing Maharaj, not blindly believing Ekta. You must see it. Yeah? That is why going deep into my own direct seeing is important. That is why journaling is important. That is why writing the homework is important. Taking the exams is important. Completely immersing myself into the understanding of this wisdom is very important. And then only can I come to the other side where I get rid of all the suffering, recognizing it as a suffering of the body, not mine. Okay. So questioner says, what benefit is there in knowing that I am not the body? Maharaj, even to say that you are not the body is not quite true. In a way, you are all the bodies, hearts, and minds, and much more. Go deep into the sense of I am, and you will find. How do you find a thing that you have mislaid or forgotten? You keep it in your mind until you recall it. The sense of being, of I am, is the first to emerge. Ask yourself whence it comes, or just watch it quietly. I'll pause there. He wants to know what is the purpose of knowing I am not the body. So he's saying the highest purpose is to recognize you're the changeless background. And is it that Blossom's changeless background is different from Vikash's changeless background is different from Ekta's changeless background? Could that be possible? How many infinities do you know? How many spaces do you know? There's only one infinity. There's only one space. Like that only, there is one changeless background. And when I realize I am that, I also realize that I am all the bodies and all the hearts and all the minds. It's not that I have to discover something or create something or manufacture something. I am already the changeless background. I don't have to manufacture it. I don't have to create it with sadhana. Yeah? You're not creating anything. You are that. You have only forgotten it. That's why he says, how do you find a thing you have mislaid or forgotten? You just keep it in your mind until you recall it. Where have I kept the keys? Where have I kept the keys? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? It's in my mind. Yeah? And then I remember, oh, there. That's what you do, right? That's the instruction here. You keep that sense of I am constantly there. Keep your attention on that sense of I am. Don't keep the attention on I am this body. Beyond the body, right now, recognize there's a sense of being, of existing. Do you recognize it? Just a light sense of existing, that which feels alive. Do you recognize the body by itself is not alive? Yeah. Do you recognize there's another something that makes it feel alive? That is the sense of being or the sense of I am. When you come from the dream to the waking, it is the first to emerge. First is that sense of I am. Then it becomes I am this body. Oh, then it becomes I am Ekta and I am in Ekta's world. All this happens slowly. First is just the sense of existing. First, there is no understanding who am I, where am I. There is no identity. How many of you have realized this when you wake up first? First, you don't know who you are, where you are, that. So that is the sense of I am. Those who didn't raise their hands means you still do not see. This should be your personal homework, my personal work area. Can I recognize the sense of I am? I still don't see. These people raise their hands. They are like me, beginners. If they can see, I should be able to see. Yeah? So that is your personal work. Coming out of the dream to the waking, do I realize first there is a sense of I am, and that doesn't know I am Ekta. It doesn't have a label Ekta. It doesn't have a feeling I am in Ekta's world. It's just the sense of existing. Then slowly comes the label I am Ekta. I am this body. And then slowly comes the next label, I am in Ekta's world. Not in English language. This is just a way of explaining how you see. You have to be able to see this transition. Okay? So please highlight that sentence in your book. The sense of being, of I am, is the first to emerge. Very important pointer. It is also a journal pointer. Those who are going to start writing journals, this is something you must work on starting tonight. Starting tonight, you start your Swapna Nidra Nyan Sadhana, allow the waker to sit on the bed, lights are turned off, and you remind yourself, I am that sense of I am that Maharaj was talking about. Can I recognize that beyond this body? When the body is still and not moving, just sitting on the bed, you feel that sense of existing. That is alive, that is conscious. That sense of I am is who I am. Now you allow the waker to lie down in bed. And allow the waker to disappear. You will see at the end of the waking state, waker disappears, some dream body comes up. It's made of thought. But that sense of existing which was there beyond the physical body is now beyond this thought body in the dream. That's all that your homework is as a beginner. Can I recognize this? That is the same changeless background that Maharaj was talking about. Can I recognize this? You fail to recognize while going to sleep, body so tired it just puts its head down and gone. Okay, no problem. Maybe while waking up, while coming out of the dream to the waking, you might recognize it. First the sense of I am emerges, then the body comes. Then the waking world comes. Can I recognize that? Clear? So doesn't matter if it doesn't happen in one night. Okay, I will try again tomorrow. Again, I will try day after. It takes time. Yeah? It's a sadhana. Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. It takes its time. Please give it its time. Yeah? You must get over the conditioning that I am this waker. Okay? Okay. So that is that sentence. The sense of being, of I am, is the first to emerge. Ask yourself whence it comes, or just watch it quietly. I would suggest just watch it quietly. Don't ask questions, you lose it. You're a beginner, absolute beginner. Just simply watch that sense of I am. Yeah. For those who have been on the Advaita Vedanta path, sense of I am is Maharaj's word for witness consciousness. Yeah, the sense of witnessing, that which is knowing this body, that witnessing awareness space, that is the sense of I am. Yeah. Adi Shankaracharya called it witness consciousness, Nisargadatta Maharaj calls it sense of I am. Just different terminology for the same thing. When the mind stays in the I am without moving, you enter a state which cannot be verbalized but can be experienced. Yeah. Highlight this. This is for the parking lot. Yeah. When I start sitting in samadhi, I will get there. Right now the mind is too agitated, constantly moving. Yeah. When the mind establishes in the sense of I am, without moving means no thoughts, no feelings, no perceptions, no sensations. When it comes to zeroness, the mind merges into that sense of I am, yeah? Or the witnessing awareness space. Then that witness also collapses. Yeah? So this I will get to slowly. You keep it in the parking lot. But he's given it to you in chapter 1. Maharaj does not hide any wisdom in his pocket. He has revealed everything right in the beginning. That takes you to pure consciousness, that sentence. Yeah. So I'll read that again. When the mind stays in the I am without moving, you enter a state which cannot be verbalized but can be experienced. That is pure consciousness. You can make a little note in the text. That is pure consciousness. And that is where all Jnana Sangha Samadhis are targeted for. This is where we attempt to get to. All you need to do is try and try again. After all, the sense I am is always with you. Only you have attached all kinds of things to it. Body, feelings, thoughts, ideas, possessions, etc. All these self-identifications are misleading. Because of them, you take yourself to be what you are not. I get caught up in this identification. I am Ekta. I am in this world. I am a family member. I am a professional. So I get stuck in identification. So he says, till the time you're stuck here, you will not recognize the sense of I am. Yeah? Drop all this. Quieten the mind. Where the mind merges with the sense of I am. Then you can see that you are the changeless background. Okay. That's where he ends the paragraph. Because of them, you take yourself to be what you are not. Questioner, then what am I? Maharaj, it is enough to know what you are not. You need not know what you are. Please highlight. Very important. It is enough to know I am not the spouse, I am not the friend, I am not the professional, I am not the rich man, I am not the poor man, I am not, I am not this body, I am not this intelligent mind, I am not this stupid mind, I am not this good memory, I am not this bad memory, I am not. Finally, you are left with what? Just an alive nothingness, a shunyata. That's it. It's zeroness. You really cannot know what you are. Many beautiful words given to it. The descriptionless, nirguna, the zeroness, nothingness, the nobodiness, nothingness, shunyata. Beautiful words given to it, but in the end, what is it? I really cannot know what I am. But when I realize that, what is the special thing that happens? All my false identity with Ekta and Ekta's world drops away. When I recognize that, now I abide as myself. Now I don't want to identify with Ekta's world and Ekta's suffering and Ekta's joys. Remember, both suffering and joys will have to be given up. Huh? You can't say, no, I'll keep the joy, but I'll get rid of the suffering. Is that possible? No. All of that belongs to Ekta, not to me. Yes, that's a very important line. Those who are planning to do journaling very seriously, this is important for you. It is enough to know what you are not. You need not know what you are. For as long as knowledge means description in terms of what is already known, perceptual or conceptual, there can be no such thing as self-knowledge. For what you are cannot be described except as total negation. Basically, what I am cannot be described. How can nothingness be described? How can nobodiness be described? There are no words for it. So all I can do is neti, not this, not this, not this, not this. Total negation. All you can say is, I am not this, I am not that. You cannot meaningfully say, this is what I am. It just makes no sense. What you can point out as this or that cannot be yourself. Surely you cannot be something else. You are nothing perceivable or imaginable. Please highlight, very important. Some people start the spiritual path with a wrong understanding. I am going to see the soul, and the soul is blue light, yellow light, or some magical aura. No, nothing like that is going to happen. No Devi, no Devta, no God, Goddess, none of that. Yeah? Those stories were cute for little kids. They were meant to just convey some story, some wisdom, but people really took it a little too far and those stories were assumed to be real. No. You're not going to see anything that can be imagined, anything that can be perceived. Yet, without you, there can be neither perception nor imagination. This is very important. It is not something that I perceive, it is the perceiver. It is the perceiver. Yeah. The eyes, EYES, the eyes, the organ eyes, can see the world. Can they see themselves? No. The eyes cannot see themselves. Even seeing in a mirror is not seeing yourself. Do you realize that? Yeah. So the eyes can never really see themselves. Like that only. The perceiver cannot be directly perceived. Perception means seeing through sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Yeah? That is not possible. So you will not see any yellow light, any blue light, any flying, levitating, some Devi, some Devta. No, none of that is going to be there. Somebody says, okay, you know that wonderful sound of creation? No, not even that. Not even that. No sight, no sound, no smell. Some people say, oh, jasmine smell, rose smell, this smell, that smell. No. Sandalwood smell? No. No smells. Incense smell? No. Are you getting it? It cannot be perceived. Yeah? It can be sensed. Like these eyes are seeing all the Advaitin participants, are seeing Ekta. Yeah? So the eyes sense their existence. Do you recognize that? The eyes cannot see themselves, but they sense their existence. Like that only. You will recognize that you are that changeless background. You cannot see yourself, you cannot smell yourself, you cannot taste, touch, hear yourself, but you can sense yourself. That is the recognition of pure consciousness. That is what he was describing, that you underline, where the mind settles in the sense of I am, and even the sense of I am merges with the background. Okay. You are nothing perceivable or imaginable, yet without you there can be neither perception nor imagination. You observe the heart feeling, the mind thinking, the body acting. The very act of perceiving shows you are not what you perceive. Do you recognize this? I perceive the trackpad means I am not the trackpad. I am not what I perceive. I am not the trackpad. Is that clear? So anything that you perceive, any light, any smells, any sounds that you say, oh, it's that heavenly, pure consciousness I've gotten there. No, it's not possible. Yeah? They are perceived. You are the perceiver. You cannot be what you perceive. Very clear? Can there be perception, experience without you? An experience must belong. Somebody must come and declare it as his own. Without an experiencer, the experience is not real. It is the experiencer that imparts reality to experience. An experience which you cannot have, of what value is it to you? So what is he explaining here? Do not run after an experience. It is the experiencer that is the pure consciousness. It is that changeless background that knows the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. It is that. Without that, it was not going to be possible to experience the waking not possible to experience the dream, not possible to experience the deep sleep. Who's experiencing that changeless background? Yeah? So without that experiencer, this experience is not real. Yeah. Which means what? This experience is happening because that experiencer is. Now you've lost so much time already running behind all the waking experiences, dream experiences, and running away from deep sleep experience. Did you find anything in experience? Pointless, right? Now he says, this is more important, turning towards the experiencer. There is something more. It is the experiencer that imparts reality to experience. So now if you're done with the experience, turn higher, move higher. So the questioner says, the sense of being an experiencer, the sense of I am, is it not also an experience? Maharaj says, obviously, everything experienced is an experience. And in every experience, there arises the experiencer of it. Please highlight. This is a pointer for those who are going to sit in Samadhi this week. In Jnana Sangha, we all meet together and sit in silent Samadhi. So this is a pointer for those who are going to sit in Samadhi. Those who have not enrolled can also enroll and sit in that Samadhi session. It's an online Zoom session. So this is the pointer for you for this week. In every experience, there arises the experiencer of it. So if you're experiencing the sense of I am or the witnessing awareness field, don't focus on the field. Focus on that which knows the field. On that which is experiencing the field of silent awareness, silent witnessing. Okay? So you have to turn your attention away from the experience towards the experiencer. Okay? So please mark it for this week's Samadhi. In every experience, there arises the experiencer of it. Memory creates the illusion of continuity. In reality, each experience has its own experiencer, and the sense of identity is due to the common factor at the root of all experiencer-experience relations. I'll pause there. All of you are beginners, so at a beginner level, just see that really, in reality, there is no continuous story that Ekta has been speaking for 1 hour, or I have been listening to this chapter for 1 hour. That is only a story woven by memory. Memory is saying that now at 8 p.m. Central Time, that Ekta started speaking at 7 p.m. Memory is saying that. Memory wove a story of continuity. Out of what? Out of arisings. Can you see in reality what arisings are? Suddenly you see the face of Ekta. Suddenly you hear the sound of some words. Suddenly a sensation of growling comes from your stomach. Suddenly you hear the sound of TV from the other room. Do you recognize they're just arisings? Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, thought, feeling, sensation. In reality, there are only arisings appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing. And what is memory doing? Memory is connecting these arisings together and saying there is a continuity. There is only the illusion of continuity. In reality, there is only one arising in any given instance. As a beginner, are you able to see this? And they're like flashes. Can you see? Suddenly, Ekta's sound is there. Suddenly, a thought comes up in you. Suddenly, the stomach is feeling unwell. Suddenly, a sound from the other room comes up. Yeah? just flashes one after the other. Memory takes only what it wants to create a story about, huh? It didn't bother about the sound that came from the other room. It didn't bother about the stomach growling. It didn't bother about the thought that came about work, probably, or about school. What did memory create? Ekta has been talking for 1 hour. I have been listening to chapter 1 for 1 hour. Do you see this? Memory creates a story that is for its convenience. So it is an illusion of continuity. In reality, there is no continuity. How many of us see that? Fantastic. Those who still don't see, this is your work area. See, all these others are beginners. They began chapter 1 with me. They can see, means I can also see. Yeah? Motivate yourself. Can I become a little more aware? A little more. Clear? Yeah, so memory creates the illusion of continuity. In reality, what is there? There is only that sense of I am. It grabs onto an identity, and now that identity wants to create a story in the now. The moment you're standing beyond as the sense of I am, just knowing the body in action, there is no story created. But the moment the sense of I am forgets itself, it pretends to be Ekta. Now it wants to create a story with Ekta in this waking world. Yeah? For you, for Nirbhay in Nirbhay's waking world, for Jay in Jay's waking world. Are you able to see that it is creating a story moment to moment? Only when there is identity. Yeah? When there's identification. In some moments you're so zoomed out, you don't care about what's happening in the waking world. How many of you have realized that? Everything is going on. Some drama is going on, but you're zoomed out. There is no identity with the waker. In that moment, you don't create a story of continuity. Yeah? So those who don't see it, write this down as work area. I must pay attention to this. Okay. Just as each flower has its own color, but all colors are caused by the same light, so do many experiences appear in the undivided and indivisible awareness, each separate in memory, identical in essence. This essence is the root, the foundation, the timeless and spaceless possibility of all experience. Means that changeless background is the essence, is the possibility of every arising of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, thought, feeling, sensation. And that changeless background is the timeless and spaceless possibility. Why? There is no time there. There is no space there. Space is a thought that appears on it. Clear? So now this is a beginner. He questions, how do I get at it? Means, how do I get at that particular timeless and spaceless possibility of all experience? How do I get at it? Maharaj says, you need not get at it, for you are it. Yeah, please highlight, very important. You are that. If you give it a chance, it will get at you. Very important. What is the meaning of giving it a chance? I take a step away from this waker's body and the waking world for a few minutes and just stand as the sense of I am. That is the meaning of giving it a chance. Just knowing the waker as separate from me. Knowing the waker's hands are moving, the waker is speaking, the waker is doing some action. I am the one that is knowing the waker's action. I am the one knowing the waker's body in motion. I am the one knowing the waker's speech in motion. That is the meaning of giving it a chance. Clear? So, this is this week's main homework. Again and again, take the stand of the sense of I am. And can you recognize that you are the knower of the waker? The waker's hands are moving. You are only knowing. You are not moving the hands. The waker's speech is appearing and disappearing. You are only knowing the speech. Just stay there. Yeah? This is your only main homework that you must do at work, in office, at home, at the grocery store, while interacting with the spouse, while interacting with the child, continuously recognizing I'm the sense of I am, and I am only knowing the waker. That is the meaning of giving it a chance. Let go your attachment to the unreal, and the real will swiftly and smoothly step into its own. And not to be attached to this body and say this is my speech, this is my action. This is attachment. In reality, I know that I am knowing the movement of the hand. I am only knowing the words coming out of the mouth. I am only knowing. Then I just stay as that, the knowingness, the awareness, the sense of I am. Stop imagining yourself being or doing this or that, and the realization that you are the source and heart of all will dawn upon you. With this will come great love, which is not choice or predilection, nor attachment, but a power which makes all things love-worthy and lovable. We'll wait for that higher power to come to us. Till that, we just give it a chance. What is the meaning of giving it a chance? Simply staying as the sense of I am, that which knows. I am the periphery that is knowing the waker in the center. And the waker in its waking world, whatever it is doing. Don't be attached to it, and don't imagine that you are doing it. Just stay as the realization that I am at the periphery, knowing the waker in the center. Clear? That ends chapter 1.